Hello everybody, my name is Patricia, first generation Beatles fan, and this channel is called Little Beatles Corner. I do want to thank everybody first and foremost for coming back to the channel, whether you're coming back often or once in a while or whatever your schedule seems to be. And I really thank you for your support, and I really enjoy meeting everybody from around the world, and I consider you all my long distance friends, so I really do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now today I'm going to do something that maybe the guys won't like so much, but probably the girls will. And I'm going to talk about Beatles Christmas ornaments for today. Now I've got about maybe a dozen or so different kinds of ornaments that I'm going to show you. And I also want to just tell you a little bit of history about some of it from the United States point of view. Now, if there's some companies in UK or elsewhere, Japan or elsewhere around the world, that has been putting out Beatles ornaments, I really wish you would let me know in the comments. But as far as my research on the internet goes, I'm not seeing anything from other countries other than the original 1964 ones that were from Italy. So anyway, any other information you can give me about this, that would really be great. So I'm going to get started now, and what I want to say is, you know, I kind of got interested in Beatles ornaments way back when, probably a year ago, 10 years ago, or, well, this one is 2012, so I'll be right about then. This was the first ornament that I picked up, and I picked it up, well, you'll see, it's the Beatles record player. It's kind of a heavy resin kind of thing. It's by a company called Kurt S. Adler, and obviously it was sanctioned by the Beatles. And the reason I bought it was I figured, well, since I never had my own record player, here it is. So, and it's got the Beatles there. So that's the first ornament I bought. And then after that, from time to time, I thought, well, it might be nice just to put up a little Christmas tree with all Beatles ornaments on it, you know. But then I kind of never did it or whatever. So anyway, now it's 2025 and I ran into a Beatles Christmas ornament that I absolutely love. And now this got me kind of going, looking at Beatles ornaments quite regularly on eBay and then the creator stores, which I will tell you about. So I'm going to show you what this new ornament is that I think is really cool, and I think you'll like it. This is from a company called Cat and Annie. Cat and Annie. And they have their own store and website. You can go catandannie.com and look at all the Christmas ornaments that they make. They make many that are not Beatles, but they do make some that are Beatles. So anyway, I ran into this on eBay. It's glass. It's the Now and Then and Love Me Do cassette. And it's all glittery on all the edges, so I thought that was such a cool Christmas ornament, I had to get it. It was about $20. They're easy to get. Look up on eBay and you'll find them, or I think Cat and Annie website might have them too. So that got me interested in Beatles ornaments again after all these years. So I have purchased a few of them along the way more recently. So I'm going to show you what they are. Now the first thing is that I want to tell you a little bit about the history. And the first Beatles ornaments that are known were 1964, and they were from Italy. They were glass. They were like big teardrops, so there was 4 of them for each Beatle. And it looks to me from the photo on the internet that the faces were painted and the hair was painted on. And then each of them had a guitar, like a plastic guitar, that was attached to them or glued to them or something. And so even Ringo had a guitar back then, which I thought was pretty interesting. But they're supposed to be very rare, and you know, maybe some high-end collectors might have them. But anyway, that's the first one. Now, after that, as far as the United States goes, there didn't seem to be any Beatles ornaments coming down the pike until probably the mid to latter part of the 1990s. So, for instance, Hallmark, which is a very well-known company here in the United States with their cards and all that stuff, they put out their first Beatles Christmas ornament in 1994. And that was a set of all four Beatles, playing like an Ed Sullivan kind of thing, where each Beatle you could hang up individually on a tree, and then Ringo was sitting with the drum kit on like a stage thing, and it's real cute all together, So that was the first thing they did. I don't have that one, but I probably will go ahead and try to get it. And then the second one they did was, let's see. In 2000, and then that was like a yellow submarine ornament, which I'll show you. So that's Hallmark. That's that's a major company here that puts out a Beatle ornament, once in a blue moon, I'd say. Now, as far as other companies that are producing them or have produced them, aside from Hallmark, there's American Greetings Company, which put out yellow submarine ornaments in 2009 and 2014. Then there's another company called Carlton Cards, which I don't think exists anymore. And apparently in 2009, they put out some John Lennon ornament that had a musical thing that went with it, playing Imagine. Now, I haven't seen that ornament anywhere, but that's something that they did. Now, today, currently, there's three major companies that put out Beatles ornaments like regularly, like they'll put out, a couple every year, it looks like to me. So the first one is the Kurt Adler, which was the first thing I showed you, which was the Beatles record player. Now, he puts out different ornaments every year. And then there's this other group called Cat and Annie, which I showed you the cassette, and they started in 2021. And they actually work for another guy called Christopher Radko, who makes Beatle ornaments today. And they worked for him for about 6 years, and then they went off on their own, and to about 2021. So Kurt Adler started in 2011, Cat and Annie started in 2021, and Christopher Radko, he's like the most expensive guy. I mean, his ornaments are like $100 or so. If you go on the Fest for Beatles Fans store and some other places, you can find Christopher Radko ornaments. They're like $100 and up, which I don't think I'm ever going to get, because if you drop it, you lost $100, But he's been doing that since about 2015. So those are the three major, I would say, companies that seem to be putting out, a couple of ornaments kind of regularly. Now, on Etsy, there's a lot of people who do a lot of crafting that have come up with some nice ornaments too, some metal ones and some other kinds of medium. And so if you're interested in looking at Etsy, you might come up with something you might like. And then there's like, the specialty Beatle locations. So if you go to Abbey Road, you go to Strawberry Field, you go to Cavern Club, you probably somewhere in New York you go, or whatever, Hard Rock, or maybe something like that. You'll find Beatles ornaments that are related to the Beatles location that you're at. So they're kind of one of a kind in your travels, although I suppose if you decided you could go shop overseas and get it mailed to you, that's doable too. And then the Fest for Beatles Fans also has some, and they do some Christopher Radko in their catalog, so you might want to take a look at Fest for Beatles Fans if you're interested in Beatles ornaments at all. Now, as far as Beatles ornaments go, if you look at them for a long time, which I've been pretty regularly on eBay for probably 2-3 months now, I'll say, you can see like there's some themes that come up in terms of ornaments. The first theme is Yellow Submarine, and I think that's the most prevalent theme overall in terms of the number of different Beatles ornaments you can get related to Yellow Submarine. But they also have a little collection of Beatles guitars, a little collection of Beatles drum heads, some jukeboxes that are different, some taxis, British taxis, and English double-decker buses that have different Beatle album things on there that are kind of interesting. They've got album art, so they're reproducing now like album covers, which is kind of cool. And they have some from younger years, like you might see a Christmas ball with like a real early picture of the Beatles on there. So they have something, you know, for that age, if you're into like more of the early stuff rather than like, say, I don't know, later stuff, or you just want to add, you know, different years or whatever to your collection. Now there's also what I call one-off ornaments. So I came across apparently the Love thing that was on in Las Vegas, put out a Love Christmas ornament, and so that's a one-off. And then there's another oddball one that I came across, which was a red, you know, glass Christmas ball with a yellow one on there, so it represents the One album, which, you know, is kind of a different album kind of theme thing, and that seems to be kind of a one-off. So there's different things you can, you know, you can gravitate to or put different themes together if you want, or whatever you think, rather than just hodgepodge like I would be. All right, so now I'm going to show you what I do have, and it's going to be in no particular order. So aside from the two that I showed you, here I have one double-decker bus, and it's by Cat and Annie, and it's supposed to be a Hard Day's Night. Very glittery. Actually, I don't like this one too much because the glitter is a little bit messy, and the bus and what's supposed to be on it is not as well defined as I would like. Now I've seen Let It Be buses, I've seen I think Revolver, taxi cabs. So there's quite a few in this genre of double-decker buses and London taxi cabs. So if you're into any of that. So this one was by Cat and Annie, and this was 2024 Apple Corps. These are all sanctioned by Apple. So I'm going to show you now one of the jukeboxes. And this is either Cat and Annie or Kurt Adler. I didn't look it up, so I don't know. I don't have a box for it. So this is the Beatles Story one. And I've seen at least 3 different ones, I would say. And the difference is what's on the front, you know, the picture and what the theme is on the front. So this is the Beatles Story. And actually there's Beatles song titles there in the selection area of the jukebox. Now this is all glass. Pretty wide. So that's one of several jukeboxes that you can get. Now I've got 2 yellow submarines. This one is 2007, and this is, I don't know who made this. That's the box. And it's a very lightweight, I guess plastic, yellow submarine with the guys on it. And it's got yellow submarine colors everywhere, all around it. And then there's a Beatles ribbon there. And then of course the gold tassel that you can hang it. So that one's 2007. Now I have a second yellow submarine, which is a Hallmark yellow submarine. And here's the box for this. And here's the back of it, and it just talks about Yellow Submarine and then who was the creator of this ornament. That little guy's picture is under there. And actually this one is from the year 2000, so it's 25 years old already, which I think is crazy. So this is, I guess, plastic or resin or something. I don't really know what they're made of. So that's the Yellow Submarine. It says the Beatles on it. It's got the little propellers in the back, which is kind of cool. There's the bottom. And it's got the periscope, so it's all nicely done. So that's from the year 2000 from the Hallmark group. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is one drum head that I bought. As I said, there's several different kinds you can get. This one is Sgt. Pepper. So it's a paper sleeve that they probably glue on, you know, like a paper drum head top. This is glass. The back is the Beatles and sparkle. And then there's sparkle all around, silver sparkle on both sides. This is from 2025, so this is this year, and this is the Cat and Annie. I think this is one I got sent to my house then. And so that's the edges of it all the way around. So that's pretty cool. I don't remember how much I paid for this. Actually, they had a sale on that website not too long ago, so they might still have some that are cheaper. Now, the next one I got is, you know, when I was in London last December, this was at the Abbey Road shop. Now, I think I ordered this from Abbey Road shop before, and it came through the Beatles store, which was kind of interesting to me. So I think they have a connection, at least in some products that they put out together. So that's the concrete wall. It's ceramic. And then the guys walking the crosswalk with a kind of a coordinating kind of ribbon. And this one's only a couple of years old. The box is really in crappy shape because that's how I got it in the mail. I think it's like 2 years old or so. 2023 or 22, something like that. So this was at the shop in London too, so you could have gotten it there if you passed by there during, you know, the Christmas season. Now the next thing I'm going to show you were two different ornaments that I got when I went to Strawberry Fields. So when you go to specific Beatle locations, you're going to be able to get most likely something that you can put on your Christmas tree. So this is the one I got. It's like, you know, Liverpool Strawberry Field, which I think is kind of nice. It's like, you can see it's raised, a disc on top of a disc and cut out. And I paid £8 for this. It's got a nice red ribbon, so looks nice on a green Christmas tree, you know? And then I bought a second one at Strawberry Field. Now I can't only just have one, right? I gotta have two. So this one is clear and it's like engraved, or yeah, I guess you call it engraved. And it says Merry Christmas, and then it's got the Strawberry Field gates. It's hard to see probably because it's clear. And that's the back. And I also paid £8 for that. I didn't put this on my tree last year, so I'm gonna have to take the tag off and put it on it this year. So those are two ornaments that I got just going to a Beatle place. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is one album cover, and this one I thought was interesting. It's 2021. This is a Kurt Adler, John Lennon album cover. So as I say, they have Meet the Beatles, which I want to get. That's from several years ago. And they've got Hard Day's Night and some different ones. So, but this one I ran into and I thought, you know, I would pick it up because it's kind of unusual. It's not just Beatles, but it's John, so. Now I have one more to show you. And so this is 2018. Here's the box of 2018. That's a Hallmark ornament. It's Wonderful Christmas Time, sung by Paul McCartney. Then in the back, there's a little blurb about it and then who created it. So I didn't put the batteries in it, but here's the 2 batteries that you get. And it's actually him singing Wonderful Christmas Time. It's not somebody else singing it, so that's pretty cool. Definitely good for a McCartney fan, right? So this is like a vintage Christmas tree radio kind of thing. In the back is where you unscrew it and then put the batteries in. And then on the side here is the little button that you push to actually play the song. So that's my Paul McCartney ornament. And actually, this is a little bit more pricey now too, even though it's only, well, it's 5 years old, or wait, more than that, 8 years old already or so. This one's a little pricey too on eBay. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is Beatles related. It's actually Rolling Stones, and this was from last year, 2024. This is Hallmark. Hallmark keepsake. And this is Rolling Stones, and they play Jumping Jack Flash on there if you put the batteries in that. So I thought that was pretty cool just to have the British flag on a guitar on your Christmas tree. So I did get it last year. All right, well, that's it for my up-to-date Beatles Christmas ornament collection. I'll be getting a few more before long, but anyway, I hope you enjoy this little video. I really hope you come back and visit, and please comment or whatever. If there's something you want me to do, that would be great. If you have any comments about, any other information about this ornament history, especially if you're in other countries, I would really like to know. And I hope you all are healthy and happy, and of course, Beatles forever.